Hey guys, well, I have been meaning to do a very quick review on this product in a long time, and in fact I did originally do a review, but it wasn't so good at the time, and this is in relation to the Clearview race receiver. Now, if I go back several months ago, what happened is, unfortunately, I was an early adopter of the product. There was an issue essentially in the power supply in the unit of the receiver I had, and the net result is, well, it would work, and then just gradually fade to nothing. But there's been a little bit of to-ing, fro-ing post that, and I've had quite a good response from Iftron. They worked with me to solve the problem. I had the unit replaced, and since then I've actually really, I've spent a little bit of time with it, and I kind of wanted to tell you about my experience of it. Now, jumping through to the Clearview 2 race edition, this is the V2 receiver, which is pretty good. Now, I do have a V1 over here, which looks like so, and you can kind of see the difference. Well, to all intents it looks the same, but the race is a little bit smaller. It's got a little LED display on the front here so you can see the channels. Can't complain, it works. I don't know which one I prefer in terms of the aesthetics, because they're both really similar. But that is not really what matters. What matters is how does it perform in the air. Now, what you'll notice, I've actually got the race edition sitting on top of my tracker, and a couple of LZR antennas on the front. Now, this gives you, in my opinion, an utterly fantastic combination. It just works, because one of the things about these digital receivers, and the same goes for your Rapid Fires, your TBS Fusions, all of these products, they work well with different antennas, and the same can be said with Clearview 2, but actually when you put two of the same antennas facing the same direction, it actually kind of comes into its own. It's partly how the digital processing in this works. Essentially, you've got two different video streams being listened to, and they're kind of looking at the VSync signal, I gather, and saying, well, what's broken on one, what's working on the other, and dynamically reassemble it. Well, that's more or less how I understand it. I might be completely wrong, and there's probably a whole lot more to it. But that's kind of what it works. So to me, plugging it on a tracker just makes a lot of sense, because you can put two antennas like I've done, and you get the best signal, which is then digitally processed to improve it. Now, in some ways you guys are going to have to take my word for this, and I'm going to show you a little bit of a video shortly about this, which shows the area I was flying to. Now, it's worth noting that when I fly through this area, and I am using the Clearview receives on the tracker, and yes, I'm pointing at the airframe, this area is normally a complete blackout zone. So much so that when I was flying my DJI system and I thought, let me try go through there, it resulted in complete, boom, it died completely. So make no mistakes, analog is bad, digital don't work, full stop. But what does work, of all things, Clearview. Now, for comparison, I have flown exactly the same sort of setup with a rapid fire array on it. I've had myself and a friend fly through the same area at the same time on the same day. And this receiver knocks the socks off anything out there. It's the ability to be flying behind tree lines and scrub with 200 milliwatt video output power at half a meter off the deck. It's incredible, utterly incredible. There's another patch of video which I'll show you, where I'm actually flying about 650 odd meters away behind trees, down below my direct line of sight, flying amongst the scrub. Again, this is just not achievable with the other systems. I think quite simply the reason is probably the additional 7 dBi of gain that this has, and Clearview have made a deal about saying that this version 2 has improved and is 7 dBi more gain than that from the original Clearview 1, which is a monumentally large amount. And it really does pay dividends when you're pushing the boundaries of where you are flying, when you're trying to just, go somewhere different. The other day I was flying an area with some mates, and we dropped behind the tree line, and I was flying a wing. I've never been able to fly so low through that area until I used Clearview on the tracker. It just transforms what the capabilities of 5.8 gig can do. It felt, to be honest, it felt more like I was using 2.4 as a video system. It is that good. Yeah, it's fantastic, and I'm going to show you a little bit of footage of me flying through the areas. I'll have a couple of captions on there just to show you where normally I get nothing and the signal is gone. And yes, you're going to have to take my word for it, because unfortunately I've actually sold off all my rapid fire Doc King receivers which are on the same rig, so it's a bit difficult for me to do a like for like video recorded at exactly the same time at this point. But trust me, this is a fantastic product. If you're the type of person who wants to use a ground station with a tripod for good reasons, certainly I would go for the Clearview 2. It knocks the socks off anything out there on the market at this point in time. It's just superb. If on the other hand you're trying to run with goggles and you want portability, well, you know what, there's other products out there and this is not the one. But for me, this is the absolute best I could possibly go for right now. It is absolutely fantastic. Anyway, enjoy guys. Hopefully it's given you a little bit of confidence that this is a good product and maybe you should try it. Cheers! Okay, so I'm trying to show you a selection of different video clips I've recorded in my goggle, and the aim here is to show you what you can expect. Now, in this particular scene, I'm flying on 200 milliwatt, and I'm sure you all know with 5.8 doesn't play well with moisture. And on this day we had a fantastic ground fog. It wasn't very high, maybe 20 meters thick at that, but as you can see, the footage is superb. Considering the distance out I am, and on 200 milliwatt, it's pretty blimmin' fantastic. I've got absolutely impeccable video for being just above the clouds. It really is, well, absolutely superb. Yeah, I'm impressed. The only annoying thing is you can see as my OSD's got a funny artifact on it because I hadn't configured it right in this plane, but that's another matter. It is superb quality, all things considered. Again, same foggy day, 200 milliwatts, and you can see I'm sort of half a kilometer away, ducking down below trees. The picture quality again is pretty good. Considering all the water vapor in the air, considering how low I am through that scrub, it's impeccable. Again, I can't complain. It's just absolutely fantastic. You can kind of just see it. Traditionally, if I jump back to the era of my bus cam style receivers, on a day like this I simply couldn't have considered even getting out past 300 meters if I was lucky. Yet here I am able to duck over trees, right down, in fact here you can see I'm going right down low. I'm getting below the tree line again with no problem. Looking at this video, I clearly enjoyed the fact that I got through the first time and I'm going through even lower this time. Which, all things considered, I know what this area is like. Without the Clearview, I simply wouldn't get through there. It's the difference between being airborne and seeing and not seeing. It looks like I'm now flying one of my quadcopters, and you can see again I'm 600 odd meters out. I'm flying through the same scrub. It's just again pretty good. If I look at my old goggles, the recordings, I simply couldn't do this. The picture, I'm way up that runway and able to fly behind all of this rubbish. 200 milliwatt output, superb. The fact that I can even get as low as I am, I'm actually below the line of a ridge. It's not totally clear there, but there's actually a complete earthen embankment that I'm flying below, which somehow, it's all working. It's incredible. It's you can obviously tell that I'm quite impressed with the setup. It really just is fantastic.